Good evening, Sophie. Today we're going to be doing something a little different for the bedtime story. This is the first video in a hopefully long series that I will be doing, where I will be reading from the Warhammer 40k wiki. Specifically, I will be reading through the list of Astra Militarum regiments that are currently known to the 40k universe, along with a small description for each. I will be doing these regiments one at a time in alphabetical order, starting with the numbered regiments. Without further ado, List of Astra Militarum Regiments, Episode 1. The Numbered Regiments. Preamble. This is a list of official Astra Militarum Imperial Guard regiments created by Games Workshop. It does not include any fan-created regiments, though it does include the renegade regiments of the Imperial Guard, as well as those Imperial Guard regiments considered excommunicate traitores by the High Lords of Terra, whether they serve the Dark Gods or not. This is not a complete list, as not every Astra Militarum regiment in existence in the Imperium of Man is known. Please note, fan-created regiments must be posted at the Warhammer 40,000 Homebrew Wiki and not on this page. Numbered regiments. 1st Combine Replenishment Battalion. The 1st Combine Replenishment Battalion is most likely an ad hoc regiment comprised of multiple badly mauled regiments that were merged into one battle-effective, combat-ready regiment. The 1st Combine Regiment Battalion took part in the defense of Cadia and its surrounding systems during the 13th Black Crusade against the forces of Chaos commanded by Abaddon the Despoiler in 999M41. The 3rd Devish. The 3rd Devish is a regiment of the Imperial Guard that hails from the Imperial world of Devish. The 3rd Devish were sent in support of the Sabbat World's Crusade, a massive Imperial crusade fought over the course of more than 23 standard years between 755 M41 and 778 M41, to help retake the Sabbat World sector located at the rimward edge of the Segmentum Pacificus from the heretical forces of Chaos. The 4th Grey Phantoms. The 4th Grey Phantoms is a regiment of the Imperial Guard raised on an unspecified world. In 99M41, the Phantoms took part in the valiant defense of Cadia and its surrounding systems during the 13th Black Crusade against the forces of Chaos commanded by Abaddon the Despoiler. 5th Columnists. The 5th Columnists is a traitor Imperial Guard regiment that fought with the forces of Chaos under the command of Abaddon the Despoiler during the 13th Black Crusade in 99M41. Commanded by the demagogue Colonel Job, the 5th Columnists made a push towards the Bellis Corona system, but had first to secure a jungle moon that was the site of an astropathic way station. Chapter Master Absalon led the Astartes Marines Exemplar Space Marine chapter in an attempt to retake the way station, but his force was greatly outnumbered by the traitor guardsmen. Leading an attempted breakout, the majority of his company managed to escape, but the Chapter Master's Thunderhawk gunship was shot down, exploding as it failed to clear the jungle canopy. 6th Canadal. The 6th Canadal is an Imperial Guard regiment that hails from the Imperial world of Canadal. They are known to have participated in the defense of Rogsburg, a city on the world of Tallarn III, during a massive Orc invasion. The 7th Cardigan. The 7th Cardigan is an Imperial Guard regiment that hails from the Imperial world of Cartigia. They took part in an Imperial campaign on the world of Bath Sanctuary alongside the Catachan 15th, the Screaming Devils Regiment. 8th Cadian. The 8th Cadian or Cadian 8th, known as the Castellan's Own, is amongst the most illustrious of the Cadian shock troop regiments that hail from the fortress world of Cadia, located in the Segmentum Obscurus. They are famed throughout the Imperium for their skill and discipline, standing on the front line of Cadia's defense against the predations of the forces of chaos that pour out of the Eye of Terror. The 8th Cadians serve as the personal regiment of Ursakar E. Creed, the current Lord Castellan of Cadia. The 9th Cardosian. The 9th Cardosian are a regiment of the Imperial Guard that hails from the Imperial world of Cardosia. The regiment was annihilated during Colonel Zurinev's aborted Grand All-Conquering raid. The remnants of the 9th Cardosian are now a part of an Imperial garrison charged with guarding the Xenothorpe system. The 9th Regiment. The 9th Regiment, also known as the Traitor 9th, is a traitor Imperial Guard regiment that fought with the forces of chaos under the command of Abaddon the Despoiler during the 13th Black Crusade in 999 M41. The 13th Penal Legion. The 13th Penal Legion, also known as the Last Chancers, is a special regiment composed of Imperial criminals and convicts. All the men and women of the Last Chancers are handpicked by the fiercely uncompromising Colonel Schaffer for the performance of suicide missions on behalf of the Imperium of mankind throughout the galaxy. The convicts are given a last chance by Schaffer to be forgiven of their crimes in the eyes of the Emperor of Mankind, and this is achieved by receiving an Imperial pardon from the Colonel. These pardons are awarded only to those members of the regiment who survive a number of military operations determined by Schaffer. Colonel Schaffer personally pardons all those who die during an operation posthumously. My bad. 13th/5th Imperial Army. The 13th/5th Imperial Army, also known as Heilgar's Hellraisers, was an Imperial Army formation according to obscure but extensive records. Although recorded in Imperial records as an Imperial Guard regiment of the late 41st millennium active between 975 M41 and 988 M41, many of its elements are in fact highly archaic and more reminiscent of an Imperial Army regiment of the Great Crusade and Horse Heresy periods. What is known is that its regimental name designates it as the 13th Imperial Army of the 5th Quadrant, and that it was commanded by Julius Halgar, a senior member of the Administratum, as well as the holder of several other imperial titles, such as Cardinal of Colarn and Grand Mariner Militaris. This latter title was one used by Administratus Militarium, the Administratus Martial branch, a possible antecedent of the current Departamento Munitorium. The 13th/23rd Tiger Lizards. The 13th/23rd, also known as the Tiger Lizards, was a regiment of the Imperial Guard. They were known to have fought against the Tyranids under the regimental command of Lieutenant Colonel Uskra, who commented on his regiment's ability to attack in perfect coordination. The 17th and 21st Tiger Lizards. The 17th/21st, also known as the Tiger Lizards, was an Imperial Army formation that existed as early as the 30th millennium, possibly during the Unification Wars era. Their presence was recorded in Codicum Aracathalor, a fragmentary record of the Imperial campaigns conducted in the Pandora sector. The Tiger Lizards were recorded as one of two regiments made up of split formations, where two wholly individual but badly mauled regiments were merged into one battle-effective fighting regiment. In this case, they were merged with the 61st/320th Aurenian. 19th Grey Lancers. The 19th Grey Lancers is a regiment of the Imperial Guard raised on an unspecified world. In 99 M41, the Lancers took part in the valiant defense of Cadia and its surrounding systems during the 13th Black Crusade against the forces of chaos, commanded by Abaddon the Despoiler. 24th Grenadiers. The 24th Grenadiers are an Imperial Guard regiment in the late 41st millennium that also serves as a house guard of the Imperial nobleman Lord Jerome A. Vicor. The 43rd/65th Hydron. The 43rd/65th Hydron is a regiment of the Imperial Guard raised on the world of Hydron. The regimental name designates it as the 43rd Imperial Army Regiment of the 65th Quadrant, indicating that this particular regiment's origins might lie in the bygone era of the Great Crusade. The 43rd/65th Hydron took place in the valiant defense of Cadia in 999 M41 during the 13th Black Crusade against the forces of Chaos commanded by Abaddon the Despoiler. The 55th Arnaud Fast Attack. The 55th Arnaud Fast Attack is a motorized regiment of the Imperial Guard that hails from the Imperial world of Arnaud. The 55th Arnaud took part in the Sabbat Worlds Crusade, a massive Imperial crusade fought over the course of more than 23 standard years between 755 M41 and 778 M41 to help retake the Sabbat World sector located at the rimward edge of the Segmentum Pacificus from the heretical forces of Chaos. The 61st/320th Aurenian. The 61st/320th Aurenian was an Imperial Army formation that existed as early as the 30th millennium, possibly during the Unification Wars era. Their presence was recorded in the Codicum Aracathalor, a fragmentary record of the Imperial campaigns conducted in the Pandora sector. The Tiger Lizards were recorded as one of at least two regiments made up of split formations, where two wholly individual but badly mauled regiments were merged into one battle-effective fighting regiment. In this case, they merged with the 17th/21st Tiger Lizards. The 81st Malfi Light Infantry. The 81st Malfi Light Infantry hail from the fractious hive world of Malfi in the Calixis Center, making up the bulk of Imperial Guard forces stationed at Fort St. Anard. Commanded by Major Barl Felthin, the 81st Malfi is a light, highly mobile infantry force specializing in skirmishing and urban combat. The 85th Vendeland. The 85th Vendeland is an Imperial Guard regiment raised from the Imperial world of Vendeland, located in the subsector Aurelia during the events surrounding the invasion of a Tyranid splinter hive fleet and an incursion by the forces of Chaos aimed at destroying the Blood Raven Space Marine chapter. The 85th is based on the subsector capital Hive World Meridian, where they often have to put down food riots. The 85th Vendeland is never seen deploying tanks in support of its units, but the men of the regiment are hardy, and the 85th has seen many stormtrooper companies, who assisted the Blood Ravens during the battles at Angel Gate and Typhon. The 85th Vendeland emphasizes use of the bayonet in close quarters fighting, and the troops of this regiment are equipped in much the same way as the regiments of the Cadian shock troops. 87th Blue Bloods. The 87th Blue Bloods was an Imperial Guard regiment that faced an unfortunate end. Fighting under the command of Captain Anton Mossman, the Blue Bloods were extinguished to a man in 967 M38, when they fought against the Dark Eldar cabal of the Flayed Skull, led by the cruel female Archon Krulaf. The only survivor was Captain Mossman, who later died at the hands of the Inquisition while undergoing questioning. The 93rd Lost Hope. The 93rd Lost Hope is an Imperial Guard regiment raised from an unspecified world that in 999 M41 took part in the valiant defense of Cadia and its surrounding system during the 13th Black Crusade from the forces of Chaos, commanded by Abaddon the Despoiler. The 122nd Bush Rats. The 122nd Bush Rats is a regiment of the Imperial Guard raised on an unknown world. Recently, the Bush Rats took part in the defense of Cadia and its surrounding systems against the forces of Chaos, commanded by Abaddon the Despoiler and his 13th Black Crusade in 999 M41. The 181st Wolf Pack. The 181st Wolf Pack is a regiment of the Imperial Guard raised on an unspecified world. The 181st Wolfpack took part in the defense of Cadia and its surrounding systems against the forces of Chaos, commanded by Abaddon the Despoiler and his 13th Black Crusade in 999 M41. The 194th Parsis 3rd Regiment. The 194th Parsis III is an Imperial Regiment guard regiment raised from an unspecified world that took part in the valiant defense of Cadia and its surrounding systems in 999 M41 during the 13th Black Crusade from the forces of Chaos, commanded by Abaddon the Despoiler. The 282nd Light Colonial Guard. The 282nd Light Colonial Guard is an Imperial Guard regiment from an unspecified world that in 999 M41 took part in the valiant defense of Cadia and its surrounding systems from the forces of Chaos during the 13th Black Crusade from the forces of Chaos, commanded by Abaddon the Despoiler. The 584th Firestarters. The 584th Firestarters are a regiment from the Imperial Guard raised on an unspecified world. In 999 M41, the Firestarters took part in the valiant defense of Cadia and its surrounding systems during the 13th Black Crusade against the forces of Chaos commanded by Abaddon the Despoiler. This has been the known numbered regiments. Please move on to the next video, A through B.